I did rock up to a family gathering with 2 slabs of cruisers once.
And I've got to say, that was one of the worst funerals that I've ever been a part of.
You need bad decisions to make a party a good party, to make it a memorable party.
Mate, they were calling me small hands. And you know how I get about being called small hands, dude?
Fellas, you gotta wear linen. Like,
What are you talking about? Dos, mate, welcome back to episode 9 of season 2. Oof. Tell you what, sorry, shout out to the Roguers. Should do a shout out to us because I mean we've been consistent, we've been prompt, we've been delivering pretty much regularly once a week, maybe one day delays every now and there. It's been a real masterwork from us, I've got to say. Credit where it's due.
yeah, definitely a record. Well, maybe not a record. Just it's good to be back on the horse, I'd say.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's been really good to keep cranking them out. Also, this way, when Roguers listen, they're not going to hear like references to the footy grand final when it's like 2 months from the grand final.
Yes.
Like, we know who won. There's no point talking about it.
Yeah. So at least we're on point. We're on, and I guess on that, we can hear your weekly update. And what happened this week, mate?
Mate, it was a sudden cold change in Longreach. When you were here, was it hot the whole time, or did you have a brief reprieve?
Nah, she was pretty hot. She was 30 plus every day.
Yeah, well, it's been below 30 every day, actually, which is cold, which is cool. It's fresh. Mate, the other day I went for a walk and I had a jumper on. Come on, Doug, you ain't going to pester me like this. Paulie's doing his usual outdoor podcast shenanigans. Yeah, so I was out walking with a jumper on. We haven't been sleeping with the aircon or fans on at all. It's been cold. It's been fresh. It's been cool. The other thing is, as I probably have reflected on in previous pods, everyone's leaving town. And they're not just leaving town for a little while, they're leaving town for good. Today, my dear friends, Miles and Geordie, Geordie the dentist and Miles the wild German backpacker.
They're leaving as well.
They're gone today, bro. Tomorrow morning. I can't believe it. It's sad. We're going to watch a movie today. Yeah. And then we'll go and tomorrow night we're going to have a block party, which will basically just be us watching the final season finale episode of The Block, which I've just been bulk consuming, binge watching basically. So yeah, I've been loving that. Well, it's tradie themed. You have to come dressed as a tradie or dressed in your work gear. Yeah. There'll be sweeps on who's going to win. There'll be betting for the government officials watching, because I'm sure we've got roguers that are, high-powered government officials. No bets, nothing illegal. I'm sure it'll be we'll be dealing in monopoly money, not real cash, surely. So no illegal betting happening there. But it's going to be great. I'm so excited for it. It's, just a little piece for me to be excited about amongst all this, deep sadness and mourning.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel for you. Obviously, I was the first.
They're good people, aren't they, Dos?
Yeah, no, and avid listeners, which was good. I was glad that we managed to get them hooked just before they left because, you didn't tell anyone.
I think we is generous. We managed to get them hooked. That's generous. Dos came here and he's like, we want to try and get you on the pod. And they're like, what pod? What pod? Charterbait? Charterbait.
Yeah, I was like, sit down. I've got something to tell you.
Yes, and we'll get them on. We'll get Miles on when she's in Tassie and Geordie on when he's in Roma. Or even we'll get him when he's gone and watched Silverstone or something in Europe. I reckon to give us a good first-hand experience from that. He can be our European sports section maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be pretty handy. Get a real taste of it. Yeah, well, my week's been sort of interesting. I had a Bucks on the last weekend, so it's been a lot of recovery. I will admit.
What happened at the Bucks? I saw some pictures and videos, and it looked pretty eccentric. Yeah,
well, obviously can't go into too many details, but the one highlight that I will bring up was just so we dressed the Buck every day. So we brought outfits for him and then left all of his clothes back in the city, so he couldn't wear anything else. And we had him in a cheerleader outfit for the Saturday market. And he's just walking around the market in a cheerleader outfit. And like, this is like a tiny little town that's probably not used to getting bucks parties or anything like that. So everyone's just stopped looking at us. People in their stalls were like taking photos.
Really?
Oh, it was so funny. Yeah, so that was
that's
good.
Great. Yeah, that sounds that aspect of it actually sounds kind of wholesome. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's a good reason why you can't go into too many details with us here.
Yeah, always. Yeah, but that was good. We played a bit of golf, and I was like thinking I could retire from work and just take up professional golf.
Oh, mate, Live Tour is looking for new golfers.
They are actually. There could be an opportunity.
And they pay,
there.
I think it pays pretty well, actually.
Yeah,
the old Live Tour.
They pay all right, the Saudis. I can get around that. But yeah, so I might look into that. We'll see how we go. Watch this space. I won't make any big calls like yourself that I'll be running it or playing golf in the Brisbane Olympics.
No. I'm not making any progress on that Olympic bet, am I?
No, I don't think that's going well for you. But you never know. Still plenty of time, man. Still plenty of time.
I know. I've got years, mate. Years.
Yeah, so that's probably pretty much the highlights of my week. I was pretty sick, and obviously we had the Melbourne Cup this week, which was good. But I was battling.
Did you make the paper? It's the thing every single year. Dos seems to be the poster boy of drunk and disorderly for the News Corp and that.
Yeah.
Did you manage this year as well?
Only because they brought that photo back up. So, but it wasn't just
recycled
that.
it.
Yeah, it wasn't even just like news.com. It was in the Herald Sun. It was in like all the majors. I was like, come on, leave me alone. It was like 6 years ago.
Imagine if you'd completely recreated your image and you'd like become this squeaky clean person, and your new group of friends maybe, and your employer, maybe your wife sees these pictures and thinks it's current, and they go, mate, you've been living this secret degenerate lifestyle this whole time.
Yeah, it worries me when I eventually get into politics, when all this stuff's sort of going to come back up to haunt me.
You just have to own it, and I think the people that will be part of your base will get around you. The deplorable stuff that politicians get up to, if you rate them and if they've got their heart in the right place, you just go, yeah, different time, deal with it, life goes on.
Mate, not with cancel culture.
Nah.
Let's change the game.
Mate, we're not on Twitter, so we can't get cancelled. We're fine.
No. Well, that's
Twitter, mate.
Speaking of
an online
platforms.
A squeaky clean segue here. Online shopping, mate. Today's episode, the road guide to online shopping. Now, if I could just start, as the listeners will know, because I mention it ad nauseum every episode, I'm in Queensland, a bit of a Queenslander. Not just that, because there's a difference between Metro Queenslanders and regional Queenslanders, and then I dare say there's a difference between regional Queenslanders and rural Queenslanders, and that's me. I'm true outback cowboy, salt of the earth kind of drover type character, as Dos would know, and we don't really get to, we don't really have shops out here. We've got a few beautiful, fantastic, shops on the main street, sell different things, bit of clothes, a bit of knickknacks. We've got our Mighty Mitre 10, trying to get a sponsorship deal from them. Shout out Mitre, that your ad could go right here.
Oof.
I go there all the time and get stuff. But, a lot of the stuff that you actually want, most of that you want, you can't get. So online shopping is key. It's essential. And there's a lot of things you have to keep in mind when you're online shopping out here in the outback. Delivery is a huge thing. Not everywhere delivers. So you might go through the whole process of on a website, finding the thing you want, getting the size you want, getting the dimensions you want, get all the way, you put your payment details in. And then you're putting in your bloody postage details, and they're like, oh mate, we don't deliver to Longreach. It's heartbreaking. It happens all the time. So there is a real need to be switched on. This would have been a great episode for my fiance Danny to pop up on, because she's like a well-oiled machine with it. But I've done enough online shopping to think that I've got a thing or two to share that'll possibly help you go through the process without getting too much heartbreak.
Yeah. I feel like I've lived in weird places in the world, and that can be an issue. Oh man, living in London though, incredible.
Like same hour delivery.
Literally, man, within 12 hours. Like, I'd get home from working in the pub. It'd be like 1 a.m. and I'd just like put an order in and it'd be there the next day when I wake up. I was like, wow.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I cannot fathom.
Yeah, that was good. Well, I guess the episode sort of inspired from this morning. I woke up this morning and I had a bunch of stuff to pick up for the house from Facebook Marketplace. I know a name drop there and just waiting for Facebook to sponsor us soon.
Yeah, Zuck, get onto it.
Zuck.
Thanks, Meta.
Yeah, and just had to pick them up. Had to be like bang on time for this one lady. She comes out with all her kids. It was kind of funny. They're like helping me grab the chairs and put them in the car. I was like, this is nice. And then picked up a TV. It was a relatively smooth process, but it's not always a smooth process.
No.
Especially I've bought stuff that, it just doesn't fit. It's just not right for me. And you're just like, well, you don't have a choice. You kind of just got to wear it. And I think that sort of rolls into step one, because step one, I argue you got to get funky with it. I've bought some weird stuff, because if you go to a shop and like say you're buying clothes, you go to a shop, you have to try it on before you buy it, sort of thing. You don't have to, but you
probably will. You're there, you might as well. There's a change room, just throw it on.
Yeah, and then you're going to be like, if it's something that you're not normally going to wear, you're probably going to lean away from it, because that anxiety sort of hits you sometimes in those social environments. You're like, oh no, might play it safe. But man, when I'm online shopping, I'm just like, you know what? Let's buy it. Let's see. Let's see if it fits. Let's see if it works. I bought this shirt that had like claw marks out of it. You know how you have like ripped jeans? It was like a ripped shirt.
It sounds like a Halloween outfit, dude.
That's the worst part. It wasn't.
Oh my God. This is a Melbourne Cup outfit, was it?
No, it was just a normal t-shirt. And it just had like rips in it, like in the shoulder and the chest. And I bought it and I put it on and I just copped it from my housemates. They're like, what the hell is that? And I was like, I thought it'd look cool.
Mate, at no point in your story, especially with a step being called get funky with it, at no point did I think it was going to be cool. I knew this was going to end in disaster from the very start. And I feel like step one should be stricken. Stricken from the record.
But sometimes it's worked. So like I've changed my fashion here and there by buying silly things, and then I've got it. I'm like, that works. I'm happy with that. Don't ask me for an example.
I was gonna say, this is where you'd back it up with like, oh yeah, there's this, the thing you like that I wear? That, no. Okay. Well, let's get on to step 1.5, maybe version 2 of step 1. This is key advice, and I've recently been trying to sell things when we moved houses on Marketplace. I'm trying to buy things on Marketplace. Maybe a bit less when you're trying to buy, particularly when you're trying to sell. Yeah. And it is scammers. Can you believe the amount of scammers on the Longreach region buy, swap and sell? Longreach, what are scammers doing on that page? Where are they finding me on Facebook Marketplace? It's absurd. All of them saying, hey, just give me your address and I'll have my FedEx agent come around and pick it up. I'm like, firstly, FedEx, come on, keep it. Let's try and be regional here as much as we can. And secondly, sometimes I get, a scammer tries to scam me. And I always wonder, like, what do you get out of this though? Say I give you my address. Like, what are you really gonna get, sort of thing? Except for my address. But mate, I had to take things off Marketplace because like the value I'll get, the profit I make from this is not worth constantly dealing with absolute nuffies and pelicans trying to scam me. One thing I will say that I went through a phase of really enjoying, he's on YouTube, people might have seen him, but he scams the scammers. He spins it around the other way and he like gets access to their computers, or they think they're scamming him, but he doesn't, he uses the iTunes card rather than just buying it, sort of thing. So that breaks their heart. That's really good, because scamming to me, it's like these people are the most deplorable, boring. Like, imagine you've got no skills to the point where you're just like, I'm going to try these copy and paste scams on these people, and sadly probably make good money from it.
Yeah, well, see, I'm for step 3, I'm sort of rolling into a similar sort of vein as in that guy that you were just explaining, like how he goes in and scams. And like, if I see something on Marketplace that's in a dodgy neighborhood, I'm all about it. because straight away that limits the other people competing with you for the item, because most people are like, oh, nah, maybe I shouldn't go there. And like, if it's stolen, well, so be it. Like, you don't know that. So it's probably cheaper.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, exactly. I went there and bought a TV once and with my mate, and we get there and he's like, I was in the car and he's like, you're coming in with me. And whatever we do, don't go inside the house. I was like, what the hell is this? I want to wait in the car, man. Don't make me go. But yeah, no issue. Like, yeah, like when we got in there was like 4 TVs. And we're like, this is a little bit sus, but...
oh, my God.
Yeah, it worked
good deal, though. Good bargain.
Great deal. 42 inch for like $150. Worked no worries. Yeah.
In that situation, you've gone to a dodgy neighborhood. You've been given some pretty early red flags that this person may mean business. Do you go the extra step and try to lowball them?
I will preemptively lowball. I won't ever lowball once I'm there. That's dangerous. It's a dangerous game.
What about you go there and you inspect the TV and you're like, oh, this is the Sony from 2021. It's 2022. I want certain capabilities. The screen's not even curved. Surely you could try and reduce the price from there. Or is that like part of the etiquette that you negotiate while you're away, and then on inspection you kind of suck it up and deal with it?
Yeah, I think definitely you embrace the keyboard warrior sort of element, and play hardball early, and then once you get there, whatever it is, you gambled. It's a gamble,
Yeah.
So now you got to wear it.
Well, step 4 for me. This is something that maybe comes from a place of privilege, #privilege. But it's about standing your ground. It's about having some dignity and some pride, especially when it comes to people lowballing, when it comes to people time wasting, when it comes to people expecting stuff from you. Whether you're buying or you're selling, don't take people's shit, because they will try. They'll try and lay it on you. They'll ask you dumb questions. Like if I put the specs and details for something in the description and you ask me for different specs or details, I'm not dealing with you, because I just don't want to invite that level of stupidity into my life. If we can't even get past the basic description of the object without there being some confusion or some hassle, and this dog is absolutely absurd. YouTube viewers will see the absolute pest that he's being at the moment. Listeners will just hear me suddenly talking about a dog bothering me, yep. And that'll be a bit of a reality break for them. But yeah, I just don't deal with it. There's another thing when I was selling my house. If someone had like lowballed me, or if someone had commented on a job that I'd done, say they looked at the floors that I'd scraped, sanded up, and they said, "Oh, we'll have to redo the floors." I'm not selling you the house. Stuff you. That is like, I put my heart and soul in that. Do not try and bring me down. It works on online as well. Don't even try and disrespect me, because I'm gonna cut you off. I don't need the money that bad.
Yeah. Well, that sort of goes against our step 5, which is always try and rip them off.
Maybe I'm happy to rip off, but
true, you don't want to be ripped off. Sure. Yeah, no, fair enough. You follow the steps, you won't get ripped off, and then it sets you up with a platform to do the ripping.
And then Uno reverse them, like you're getting scammed.
Yeah, like what it is. Anything online, whatever the price is, it's 20% cheaper, and 10% cheaper, no matter what it is. If it's like $5,000, they'll take $4,500. If it's $50, you could get $45 for it.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's my attitude. And if they don't budge, then they're not worth your time. There's something sus. Yeah, everyone knows that's part of the etiquette. There's a whole etiquette to online shopping, for sure. Yeah, and I think you follow those steps, and you'll be on top of things.
I also think, from my experience selling stuff, a lot of the time, and for the buyers out there, the seller is happy to go down. The seller will always offer a little more than it's worth. Like you said, maybe it's 10%. They'll try, maybe they think, well, this could be worth $500, but I'll gladly take $400 for it.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily be too afraid to offer a reasonable amount less, because I think I've always put stuff up and I've been like, yeah, it's probably worth this much. For the hassle of dealing with Marketplace, I'm going to mark it up to this. But if someone's a good buyer, then I'll gladly give it to them for $100 less or $50 less or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, easy. See, simple as that.
But, mate, you're an online marketplace genius. It's simple as that. The road guide, dealing out the realistic the realistic information this time, and one for the everyday viewers and listeners, especially for our huge listening audience here in the Outback that knows how difficult online shopping can be.
Yeah, there we go. Well, and then today's big call, we've actually got a long-time friend, one of my original footy boys. We both went to the same footy club at the same time. First session together, Geelong West. And I'll never forget it because we were both so unfit compared to everyone else that when they did the...
Was that the bonding moment?
Literally, man. I was just running and I saw him. He was just in front of me. I was like, this guy with a tattoo sleeve. And I was like, I'm not fucking letting him beat me. I'm not coming last. Like, if we're coming in together, we're coming in together. I just wouldn't let it happen. And from then on, yeah, me and our big call guest, Josh Viney, have been good mates. Welcome to the show.
That is exactly how we met.
Bonded through a lack of fitness.
Yeah.
I thought I was pretty fit at the time too. I looked around,
me too.
Like, these guys will be pretty shit. Saw some bloke in a Fremantle jumper that he still wears to this day. And I looked back and it's only me and him.
I couldn't believe it.
One is last 1 and 2.
Yeah. And there's like big boys there. They like definitely had a lot more body fat than us and they were just so much fitter.
There was literally, there would have been guys 100 kilos just running 3-minute 40 Ks. And HI just there, prowling along with 4-minute 40.
Oh man, boys, you've come a long way since then, I'm sure. Or maybe you've come a long way and then fallen off, as Doss's experience would be. But did you ever redeem yourselves in the fitness scheme of things? Did you ever become the weapons, or at least mid pack?
Yeah, Viney was definitely mid pack. I was more, yeah. I always just made sure I was fit enough to beat the new blokes that come in and just weren't aware of how fit you needed to be.
This is news to me, man, because whenever you'd come to the coast or whenever we talk about running, I always got the feeling, and you always sort of made it seem like you were one of the at least fit weapons of the team. I cannot believe this. This is complete. Now that Viney's on the show, you suddenly had to like reveal a bit of the truth because there's a first-hand witness that won't let you get away with talking about how the boys are all watching my times. They were all racing each other. Mate, it doesn't sound like you were racing anyone.
I was racing.
He just humbled himself to the max.
I had to. The web of lies was too well spread.
Now, Viney, you've jumped on the program, the podcast, to share with us a big call. For those tuning in for the first time, because it sounds like Vines has got a bit of a podcast following, it's a pleasure to have him on. Basically, the way the big call works is we make a big call to a friend of the road guide, and they give us a story where they had to make a big call. And right at the big call, they stop, we tell them what we would have done, and then they tell us what they did. What's a time in your life when you had to go and make a big call?
Probably when I went to London.
Oh.
So I went to Europe, to Eastern Europe.
Uh-oh.
With about 1.5 weeks' notice. So it was coming up to Christmas, and I was getting pretty busy with work and stuff, and my boss gave me like an ultimatum. He's like, you can either have Christmas off, or you can go somewhere now, enjoy an extra week or two off, and go have a bit of fun. So I obviously took the latter, and went with the extra week or two off. So I messaged Hayes. He was in London at the time, just moved over there, living abroad, and I said, thoughts on me coming over? And he's like, yeah, sounds good, man. When do you reckon? And I was like, a fortnight. And he's like, oh, shit, yeah, well, I just got here and just settled in. But yeah, we'll go for
I've been there like
adventure.
less than a week as well, I reckon.
Yeah, so that was that. So the big call for this one is probably, what are your thoughts on booking spontaneous international trips on a dime when you can?
So I'm going to take this one first because I think Doss has got the most expectable, predictable sort of answer to this. I'm actually having a dilemma at the moment, Doss, and I hate to break this to you, but
I knew this was coming.
I live in the real world. I have expenses, in life. I don't just magically cruise along, on a wing and a prayer, suddenly throwing down thousands of dollars to go overseas. I've got a roof to be replaced. I've got rotten beams in this house that need replacing. And we've got a plan to go to South America, and that's in like 3 months probably, so a lot more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And even I'm kind of like, oh, is it too soon? You know, have I got enough time to sort of, you know, react to the quote I'm inevitably going to get, which is going to be tens of thousands of dollars. And can I afford to go with DOS? You know, I planned my life out a little bit more. You know, I've got a great job over here. I've got a fiance now. I can't see a world anymore. Back in the day, back when I was cool, back when DOS became friends with me, you know, he wouldn't be friends with me if we'd met in my current state, I'm sure.
I don't have a choice now. I'm too invested.
Yeah, now he's locked in. But back in the day, I would do it. But man, now even with a few months, knowing the expenses I've got coming up, man, I just don't know if I could. Maybe I'd humor it for a few days. I'd gas him up. I'd be like, you know, oh yeah, let's do it. And then when he's like, all right, I'm booking today, I'd be like, you know, actually there's these expenses that I always knew were coming up that have come up, and I'm no longer going to do it. So respectfully for me, I love the spontaneous book, but I'm just not there anymore. I'm a certified lame at the moment.
You're very much in the rat race right now.
Hey. Don't hit me with reality. I can't meant to escape it.
Bang, fact check. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know me. I booked flights to Europe when COVID was still a thing. Like, so I'm happy just to go anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter. As long as I got the money in the bank, I'm gone. Even then, it's like, and by that I just mean enough for the flights. The rest of the finance I can sort of figure out. And and just a story from that. You know, like obviously, actually, sorry. You know, you tell us what you did in that scenario, then I might elaborate a little bit more if you leave out any information.
So you want me to go back to elaborating on the trip?
Yeah, on something.
Yeah, so we're about a fortnight out. So we're booking this. We're going to Eastern Europe. H, ironically enough, already had the itinerary completed.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Classic.
I was just like, if you fly over here, I will plan the trip. I will plan a trip for us.
Yeah.
So we're planning the trip. It's around 2 weeks worth, well, 2.5 weeks I think it was. Doing all of Eastern Europe. So I got over there. First thing I did, straight to the pub. Had a couple of Guinnesses. My first ever Guinness. Then we went. We stayed in London for a couple of days, and we went on our way over to Eastern Europe. Now we're over there. One of the many things that DOS is good at is not being on time.
Oh no!
So we're out in I think it was
Krakow
in Poland. Yeah. Krakow in Poland. We're out there and having a good old time. No one spoke any English. All Eastern Europe, they did not know what we were saying, and we're just here with our Aussie slang saying "G'day, mate" and whatever. A few beers under the belt, and we kept going, and it got to about 5:30 a.m. in the morning. We had a bus at 6 o'clock. We realised we're about 45 minutes away from the bus. We get there. The bus is just taking off from Krakow in Poland. It's an 8-hour bus trip. The bus is just taking off. Hayden and I are blind, carrying our suitcases. We haven't slept. We've come straight from the nightclub, and we literally jump in front of the bus.
Yeah. You couldn't even
the bus
tell.
Is taking off, we jump in front of it.
Yeah, you couldn't tell it was our bus. We just like, this is the exact time it should be leaving, and we just see this bus leaving. We just run out.
No way!
Don't go.
We jump in front of it.
The one.
Yeah.
Oh, we think so. We hope so. We got to the right spot.
Yeah, we got to Berlin.
It could have ended up anywhere, but yeah, this is that's one of the things that H is renowned for. Always staying on time.
Well, they had those like cyclists, and you jump in the back, and they'll like cycle you to places like a taxi. And we jumped in the back of one of them. We were in a hotel room, but it wasn't ours. We had to go back to the hostel, and we're like, you need to get to this hostel in 10 minutes. And we're like, I'll throw in an extra €10 if you can get there. And this guy is just pedaling his little heart out. It's so funny.
It sounds like he might have gone on to become like a Tour de France rider or something, based off of the sudden burst of training that he had from that trip.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, but it was I won't go too much into depth on it, but
no, I don't think we can legally.
Yeah, for legal reasons, put a little asterisk and a little disclaimer. But yeah, so that's one of the many things that the H was good for.
Stories.
Did you have something to add before, Dos? Is there more to this trip?
That was exactly the story I was going to tell.
Wow.
Because it's PC enough that it can make it on the pod, and it's also entertaining.
But
and going on the rather than a serious crime.
Yeah.
And going on the big call as well. That Europe trip, I also did the same with H's cousin. Back when we first met, we met at the Melbourne Cup and on the piss, as we always are in Australia. And Zave and I booked a trip to America at the Melbourne Cup.
No shot, really?
Literally.
Yeah.
So like Viney
that was 4 weeks away.
Yeah, didn't have a passport even. So he's at the Melbourne Cup, literally filling out the passport form to get your passport.
Mate,
he's just like giving it to me. I'm like, bro, I'm so drunk. Like,
that is huge.
Oh,
what the hell?
Yeah, you can definitely you can back Viney to come on any spontaneous trip.
Mate, he's like the patron saint of a spontaneous trip. That is insane. I can't believe you've got form with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to book those trips where you're waiting 7-8 months and then you don't really want to go when it comes around to it.
Yeah. It's too much to spend. Too much foreplay. Yeah.
Well, but anyway, guys, I've literally got to run because I'm doing what H is doing and I've got to catch a train.
Yeah, he's got to catch a train. He's got to get to a festival. So got to let our boy off.
Viney, thanks so much for coming on. We'll leave you to it. Last minute trip to the festival by the sound of it.
Yeah, it literally was. I found out about it 3 days ago. Oh, boys, I'll leave you to it.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
See you, boys.
Oh, there you go, Dawson. I thought you were all about the spontaneous trip. That's a track record of reckless decision making from Viney there.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's in my inner circle.
Yeah. No, he definitely seems like very much up to your speed, if not possibly a little bit faster.
Yeah, well, by the sounds of it, I might have to book him in for a trip in February to South America.
Oh, yeah. You might want to just plan it all and then just let Viney know that there could come a time. I'm not ruling it out.
Rule it out.
I just want to give you a reality check that the roof, this could be a very expensive job, and I just may not be able to do it.
Mate, the roof's still there. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I know. I'm currently sitting underneath it right now, but Anyway, let's not. Okay, let me think. Catastrophize. There we go. Catastrophize the situation. I'm still in for all intents and purposes, but you may want to lock me in. We'll find out in the next week and a half if I can do it or not.
Yeah. Well, I'm booking flights next week, so.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. Well,
Joss.
Yeah, we've got a little bit on the Series 60 today. Two things actually. So one thing, I was very confused. Yesterday I was thinking, I was like, why do we drink cold water in winter? Why don't we drink warm water? Because like you drink cold water, but is that just because we're trained to think that? Why is it gross?
Trained to think that.
Yeah, like you'll have boiling water in your tea, like it's no real issue.
That's kind of deep, actually. I can't tell you actually because it's not like it's the value of the water is decreased or the flavor changes that much. I think the flavor might change a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm sick of like being in winter drinking cold water and then being cold on the inside. Like you do it before bed in winter. Like people that might have warm milk before bed, but like normally you'll have cold milk. So why is it different for milk and not water?
This is the most absurd Series 60. I mean, this is almost like the old section we had where it was like, hear me out. Hear me out. 'Cause I'm about to talk some genuine drivel right here. I want to talk about warm water. This is a whole new... warm water is going to be part of the title for this episode, I think. It's going to be the road guide to bloody...
online shopping in
warm water. Because, I mean... I don't know what to say. I mean, I think you're kind of onto something here, but also, what are you talking about?
I feel like there's a market for it, because you go to here. Actually,
just have warm water. You can. It's not doesn't cost you any more.
No, but you'll go to a restaurant as well, and they'll be like, do you want tap water or cold
sparkling?
Water? Yeah, and sparkling, yeah. But sometimes I'll be like,
warm water, mate.
Bro, can I have it warm?
Yeah.
Just get the glass and just shake it in your hands real quick so you warm it up. Something like that.
Well, I mean, There you go. That was absurd. That was.
Yeah.
I don't know where your mind goes, but it's gone there, and I mean, I don't know if I'm better off or worse off for it. Dos, you sound like you're off to a festival?
No, I'm not going.
Didn't get invited.
No, yeah, actually I didn't. Yeah, I'll bring that up with him later. Especially because he's coming to my city as well. But no, because I'm saving for South America. One of us is bloody putting in the hard yards.
I'm definitely saving, but yeah, mate. Anyway, we'll wait for the quote. The next episode or the episode after, I'm going to have some quotes, and we're going to talk about my financial situation, and the Rogers can decide if I should pull the trigger on the travel or not, or if it's too risky. In fact, on the Road Guide Instagram, we'll put up a poll: yes or no, can Dan afford to go to South America? Once I know all the quotes, and if the Rogers say there's enough votes, and the Rogers say I should go, then I will.
Easy.
Yeah, so definitely go and find us on socials, find us on YouTube. Just search the Road Guide. If you've got a search engine on any app, just search Road Guide. I reckon you might have some luck finding us.
Yeah, I've looked up on different people's phones and stuff like that, and we come up pretty quick.
Good.
So we've got a good market now.
Yep.
Yeah, and just on that, any Rogers, as you can tell, didn't quite pull the trigger on Movember solely because
I thought of that too.
I need my beard to clip my mic on. So until we buy new microphones, it's just gonna have to be the way.
I'm just lazy and forgot. I would have loved to come on with the Proseco tea next week. Next week I'm gonna have the Proseco tea, and then the week after I'm gonna try and maybe just have my usual dirty stash. But yeah.
Well, I'm gonna donate to any Rogers that are doing anything in November or Movember.
DM the Instagram, comment on YouTube. That's probably the best way to get a hold of us. Free money, really. Free money for a good cause.
Yeah, perfect.
Dos,
are we gonna get in the boat? Are we getting in the boat?
Get in the boat. Rogan. Joe
Rogan.
Joe Rogan show.
We're gonna rogue. No, we're gonna rogue go boat.
We're definitely not. We're done roguing our boat, I reckon.
Mate, I got good hits. People loved it. I got a message the other day. They were like, rogue your boat. And they were just like laughing emojis. And I was like, hey.
All right, well, we need to do it with some energy then. 1, 2, 3. Rogue your boat.
Down the guide.
That's it, down the guide.
Yeah.